So what we have to start with is, of course, the game that you all want to hear me talk about because you all know that I am an Oklahoma fan, and today will go down in infamy in Sooner lore as the Texas Longhorns stomped a mud hole in my Oklahoma Sooners and walked it dry 49-0. This game was not close, but it did have its moments, at least in the first half, which is the last time that I chose to tweet about this game before we had to do this show. Look, it started the way that you thought it would, with Quinn Ewers making his return after being knocked out of the game against Alabama, in a game they probably win if he plays. And then you understand that Oklahoma is going into this game without its starting quarterback in Dillon Gabriel, and Davis Bevel looked very Davis Bevel in this game. But they had chances here as Texas was able to move the ball on them at will. I thought it was interesting that Jeff Lebby came out there with, I'm calling the Willis bone. Braden Willis, who played quarterback in high school, got to play a little wishbone Wildcat quarterback against the Longhorns, and they were moving the ball really doggone well. Saw some great play out of Jalil Farouk, some great play out of Eric Gray right up until it wasn't great play. But more than this, it was, for me, Texas announcing itself in a well and truly way. If you want to say that Texas is back, I'm not going to stop you from saying so, because this is the worst loss that Oklahoma has ever suffered at the hands of Texas. Before this game, Texas had never beaten Oklahoma in this game by more than 33 points. Today, of course, 49-0. Also was the first time that Oklahoma was shut out in the first half against Texas since 1984, the year my parents got married. I'm a 35-year-old man now, and I wasn't born until 87. And then it is the first shutout that Texas has thrown against the Oklahoma Sooners since 1965, and that game was 19-0. Now, there's one pivotal sequence that I think is important here, and I believe it's the second series that Oklahoma had offensively. Braden Willis had been able to help Davis Bevel get the ball down inside the red zone, an inspired play call to run a fake off of a timeout. You convert that, and then you get stuff on 4th and 1 inside of your opponent's red zone. And of course, Texas picked that ball up and marched back down the field to make it 14-0 when it could have been perhaps 7 up, and the changes the tenor of the game. But the inevitable was always coming as Texas looked dominant in this one. And it's so lopsided that your man, Kevin Durant, decided that this was the time for him to interject himself into the college football discourse with this tweet: "Ayo, somebody tell Brent Venables, pass the joystick. This ain't it." Yikes. Okay. We real down bad when a dude that spent all of one calendar year at the University of Texas feels like he can talk noise about the University of Oklahoma. A dude that decided that he was going to leave the Oklahoma City Thunder on the 4th of July on Independence Day to go join the Golden State Warriors, and can't keep his man Kyrie Irving in check, but can show up on the second Saturday of October to talk noise to the Oklahoma Sooners. My goodness. This is also an outstanding tweet here from our friends at College Football on Fox. The return of Quinn Ewers at Texas football did not disappoint. Did not. 21 of 31 for 289 with 4 TDs and a pick. Quinn Ewers accounted for more yardage through the air than Oklahoma managed all day long. Bijan Robinson certainly helped with 22 carries for 130 yards, 2 TDs. He was carrying Oklahoma defenders like this ride at the Texas State Fair was free. My goodness, just handing out rides to everybody on that defense. And that was really the most jarring part of the game. It's not the offense. As much as we want to talk about the offense and how bad it is without Dillon Gabriel, and frankly, how much better it could be if he was there, and since Lincoln Riley has left, we'll get into that a little bit later. But the defense was the reason that so many people, myself included, were so high on this Oklahoma team that at one point in time was ranked number 6 in the country, is now 3-3. They weren't able to tackle. They were hardly able to get lined up, and they felt like they looked small and skinny and slow compared to Texas. That's not something that I have been able to say since 1998. And coincidentally, that's the last time that Oklahoma was shut out in a game. It is also, or offensively shut out in a game. It's also the last time that Oklahoma had 3 consecutive losses in the same season. That's a very long time ago. I know because I was 11. And again, I'm a 35-year-old man doing this show. There's not really a lot to say about this game, except to say I don't think this is the bottom for Oklahoma. Nothing here helped me feel inspired about what they have left for them and what is a loaded Big 12. And don't kid yourself, Oklahoma's got their back against the wall right now because Kansas is good, right? Oklahoma State is good. Texas Tech is good. And that's before we get to Baylor, Iowa State, who generally play Oklahoma really, really toughly. And we'll see what happens with West Virginia. But right now, you've taken losses to Kansas State, Texas Christian, and Texas in 3 consecutive outings. It's not a good look. That's just what it is. It's just not a good look. And this is something you're going to have to continue to try to correct as you go into 2023 and perhaps even 2024. You know, you're going to take all of this into the SEC, and I don't feel great about that. Perhaps we will look at this game and think of it as the beginning of the end for Oklahoma, or perhaps we could think about it as the turnaround for Oklahoma. I'm not that optimistic because I'm much more of a realist in this. I saw what you saw. I saw an Oklahoma team that was outclassed, outplayed, and frankly outcoached, as it felt like they just went away from the thing that was working. If you just run the doggone ball, you give yourself an opportunity here. A, you keep the ball out of the hands of the explosive Texas offense, and B, it was working. But you can't have Eric Gray running a wildcat and then asking him to throw pop passes. That ain't it, Chief. That ain't going to get it done. I mean, that might be the worst play that we'll see from an Oklahoma offense all year. And my goodness, all he had to do was hang on the football and keep running it because they were able to get pushed. It was clear that Pete Wachowski was not going to commit 8 to the front, and they were just going to take and take and take until Jeff Lebby decided that it was time for him to go away from that and try to start throwing the ball around. It's tough, man. It's a tough scene right now for Oklahoma fans because they don't know if they're coming or going. Is it that you don't have the roster that you did last year? Sure. Is it that the coaching could be better? Of course, I'm sure the coaches would be the first to tell you that. Is it that you have a new system? Is it that the Big 12 has gotten so much better, so much more talented? It's all of those things. And right now, it is Oklahoma's turn to be in the dunk tank. And it ain't fun to be sitting in the dunk tank. Thank you for watching the #1 college football show. Please remember to subscribe to the channel and like this video so that you don't miss any of the best college football coverage in America.